Astronomers have discovered something strange and new on Neptune, but it is something unexpected. A multinational team of astronomers have seen some remarkable fluctuations on the eighth planet from the Sun using a variety of ground-based telescopes, including the enormous Very Large Telescope in Chile. What might this strange discovery be? Why is it all happening? How is it going to affect the Earth? Well, for now, we do know that something strange is going on inside Neptune, so keep watching so you don't miss out on any new information. Neptune is the most distant planet in our solar system, and an unprecedented investigation of fluctuations in its temperature has uncovered some quite odd activity going on there. To begin with, like every planet, Neptune has its own special traits and qualities. It is frequently referred to as one of the two ice giant planets in the solar system, the other being its nearly identical twin, Uranus. It is incredibly strange when compared to Earth, the only planet that we know very well. Neptune is a gas giant, orbiting the Sun at a distance of around 2.8 billion miles or 4.47 billion kilometers, and was given its name after the Roman sea god Poseidon, or in the ancient Greek, Pantheon. In actuality, it takes nearly 165 Earth years for the distant Neptune to complete its orbit around the Sun, indicating that each season on Neptune lasts for more than 40 Earth years. Only 12 years after beginning its historic journey through the solar system, Voyager 2 reached Neptune in 1989, where it discovered 6 brand new moons, first photographed the planet's rings, and captured a particularly severe storm. It was unexpected that there would be a storm. The strongest ever recorded wind was swirling counterclockwise at speeds of up to 1,500 miles per hour, or 2,414 kilometers per hour in the southern hemisphere. The Great Dark Spot was so named by astronomers who were eager to understand why the winds were so strong, even though it had vanished by the time the Hubble Space Telescope observed the planet 5 years later. However, they were surprised by Voyager 2's discovery when they found that Neptune was warmer than Uranus, despite being further from the Sun. According to astronomer Brian Cox's BBC show The Planets, the source of this additional heat remains a mystery. But does that mean we are dealing with a two-part mystery? Can one mystery in any way contribute to the solution of the other? For this, we must first examine what is meant by warmer in order to begin discussing the two concerns at hand. Astronomers confirmed that they were unable to test the global average temperature at ground level on Neptune since it is a gas giant, unlike the Earth where we could still do so. Problems with temperature. For reasons that scientists are still attempting to fully grasp, the stunning 4-decade summer that is presently occurring in Neptune's southern hemisphere hasn't exactly been warming, at least not in the manner that we might anticipate. A new study that compiles 17 years worth of records of Neptune's temperature reveals an anomalous global average dip in temperature of roughly 8 degrees Celsius between 2003 and 2018. This inexplicable global average drop is supported by a sharp decline in atmospheric radiation beginning in 2003. Michael Roman, a planetary scientist at the University of Leicester in the UK, adds, "This change was unexpected. Since we have been observing Neptune during its early southern summer, we expected temperatures to be slowly growing warmer, not colder. Given how far away from Earth this chilly planet is, gathering accurate air temperature data is not an easy task. In reality, only since the turn of the century have sensitive infrared measurements on more recent space telescopes made it possible to obtain such data. One of these is the VLT imager and spectrometer for Mid-Infrared Instrument, or VISIR in short, which is mounted on the Very Large Telescope, VLT, of the European Southern Observatory and can determine the temperature based on the intensity of infrared light emission. Roman and his team examined nearly 100 thermal observations of Neptune to study the planet's infrared radiation. Many of these observations were made using VISIR, but they also included information from NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope and numerous ground-based telescopes in Chile and Hawaii. However, a late burst in emissions between 2018 and 2020 suggests the atmosphere then rapidly warmed by about 11 degrees Celsius in just 2 years. The results, which represent the largest compilation of ground-based imaging of Neptune in the mid-infrared spectrum yet, suggest that temperatures in Neptune's stratosphere cooled despite summertime over much of the study period. While we can't be quite certain, the researchers believe that changes in atmospheric chemistry may be to blame for the variations observed in Neptune's atmospheric temperature, which seem to vary so erratically in the middle of the season. While methane absorbs sunlight and warms the atmosphere, photochemically produced hydrocarbons, primarily ethane and acetylene, are powerful infrared emitters that serve to cool the stratosphere, the researchers explain in their paper. The balance between this heating and cooling changes as the amount of photochemical hydrocarbons changes. It's likely that anything similar to what was discovered in earlier studies on Saturn's temperature, which indicated that the interaction of molecules in atmospheric clouds might impact their temperature, resulting in temperature peaks before the maximum solar irradiation is taking place here. The researchers wrote, nonetheless, given Neptune's 165-year orbital period, any seasonal changes are expected to occur gradually over decades. The rapid changes observed between 2018 and 2020 appear surprisingly swift for seasonal response. Additional processes appear to be operating in Neptune's atmosphere on subseasonal timescales, both regional and global scales. Another explanation would be weather fluctuations, which might have an impact on the chemistry and content of the clouds in the atmosphere, as well as the influence of the dark vortices seen on Neptune, another of the planet's mysteries that are still unraveling. The researchers note that solar flux is another factor that should be taken into account. They speculate that the sun's activity cycle may somehow be causing photochemical changes in Neptune's atmosphere, which would once more explain the temperature variations that we are observing. The only thing we can be sure of is that a lot more investigation will be required to fully understand these unexpected readings, which are only the most recent enigma connected to this mysterious distant land. As a result of the fact that we still know so little about Neptune itself, in Roman's opinion, it is quite intriguing to many of us. This all points towards a more complicated picture of Neptune's atmosphere and how it changes with time. So, what is going to happen to Neptune? It is possible that interior heat isn't dissipated continuously, but rather in burps. While Neptune has recently burped, Tollefson from the University of California, Berkeley speculated that Uranus may simply be in a quiet phase. The burps are convection, which may occur in discrete episodes spaced widely apart. Until one of these convective episodes occurs, however, it is possible that we won't know for sure if this is the case. Another explanation is that Neptune is a younger planet while Uranus is an older planet. According to Amy Simon, a NASA senior scientist for planetary atmosphere research at the NASA Goddard Space Flight Center, how much heat a planet radiates largely relies on how old it is and how fast or slowly it releases that heat. A planet that is older would be cooler. The internal structure and composition, cloud layers, convection, and other factors affect how rapidly they discharge, and this can be rather involved. So join the conversation and let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. That is it for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to be notified when we post more content. Thanks.